Hello, everybody. March Madness has officially been done, and congratulations to Michigan for winning it all. But now it is time for a mock draft for the NBA. Now, I know I usually do NFL content, but I do watch basketball as well, along with college basketball. And I just wanted to put my input into the NBA draft and some of my favorite players and how I think the draft will go, mixed with what I would do for these teams and possibly what we could see, before the lottery. Today we're going to do a mock draft where there's no simulation. It's just going to be straight up with the worst team getting the first pick. We'll decide later after the lottery what prospect fits where. Here we go. We're going to go ahead and start with the Washington Wizards. Now, this is a team that's been rebuilding for a while, and they need anything. They need best available, in my opinion. For starters, they did bring in Trae Young and Anthony Davis. And I know they have guys like Keyshawn George playing the three. He's been up and progressing. Bilal Coulibaly, who's a really good defender. But in my opinion, you got to get someone that will change your franchise. All it takes is one player in basketball to change your franchise and change the trajectory of it. So why not go for a upsided, star-studded guy who's probably one of the best scorers in college right now. And we're going to go ahead and give AJ Dembasta the nod to the Washington Wizards. Now, this guy, he is a very elite scorer. Not that level yet at the three-point, but his mid-range game is amazing. His finish around the rim is amazing. His footwork, how he scores is dedicated to his footwork. His footwork is really good. He could play make for others, and he pretty much had to put BYU on his back towards the end of the season while they were dealing with injuries. So I'm going to go ahead and just give him the best available. One concern I do have with him is his defense. His defense isn't as par compared to the other top three guys or the top four guys, compared to Boozer and Peterson and Caleb Wilson. But I think his offensive upside takes the cake for me. And the Washington Wizards are going to bank on this guy being their future asset. Now, next we have the Pacers. The Pacers, who was just coming off a finals appearance. Yeah, they are one of the worst teams right now. They did trade for Zubac, and as of right now, it depends on the lottery because these guys, they could get a top 4 pick. If not, the odds could go in the favor of the Clippers, and the Clippers go on the pick. But until now, they are the number 2 pick. And in my opinion, in terms of talent and fit alone, I would have to go with Darren Peterson. And here's why. I would say Cam Boozer with the Pacers would be amazing, but you have Siakam for the long term. You traded for a center like Zubac. I don't see Cam Boozer being a number 3, like the small forward position for the Pacers. So I think just taking one of the best scorers and a good defender like Darren Peterson at the number 2 pick, and I think he would fit well next to Halliburton as well. At the 2 guard, he has good size, can really shoot the rock from 3. Downside from him, it's probably his around the rim ability and getting guys open. He wasn't really asked to play make a lot over there in Kansas. He was more like running around screens and catching and shooting. But I would love to see how his game translates over to the NBA level where he does get the rock and he does get guys open. That's probably one thing I would want to see better from him is his playmaking and also finishing around the rim. But, he was playing with lingering injuries throughout the year, so I'll give him grace. But, yeah, I think Darren Peterson would fit with a team like the Pacers the best in terms of they want to contend and start Peterson right away. So next, we have the Brooklyn Nets at number 3. I think these are guys that need best available, bro. Best anything. They had like 5 draft picks last year. They went up drafting Yeoman Demon, who was known playmaker at BYU. Now he's turned into like a spot up shooter pretty much. He's a catch and shoot guy who would have thought considering his shooting in college. But another guy that was hurt in his college year. But they also drafted Ben Seraph, Drake Powell, Danny Wolf. They also drafted Nolan Chorori, who's shown some things, but none of these guys have really impressed me where it's like, yeah, these guys are going to stay for the long haul. But, you never know. It's only their rookie year. But, hey, man, who knows how many times they're going to get a top 3 pick. In this situation, they go best available. And best available in my eyes is going to be Cameron Boozer to the Brooklyn Nets. He's going to impact right away. And I do really like his bully ball asset. He's got a good frame. He's 6'9". He's strictly a power forward. I don't think he should play at the center position because at Duke he was kind of struggling without Pat Ngangba, playing center and trying to defend the paint. Like he's not a guy that gets a lot of blocks straight up. Yeah. Other than that, he's really good defending the perimeter. But he's a good help defender. He can run in transition, could run pick and roll as the ball handler and as a screener. He's a really underrated passer, and I think this guy he has good IQ. Good IQ. He could stretch the floor from three. Good catch and shoot guy. One thing about him is his paint defense on one-on-one matchups, and also his ability to score from the mid-range. But I think he'll develop over time. He's still young, going into the draft at 18. He can definitely, figure out that mid-range area. He's a pretty decent free throw shooter, so it'll just take some time to develop his game. But yeah, in my opinion, Cam Boozer at 3 to the Brooklyn Nets would low-key be a steal. We'll carry on with the Utah Jazz. Pick number 4. These guys they're grimy. They're really grimy. They've been sitting guys all year, like Jaren Jackson Jr., Lauri Markkanen. They've low-key been hurt. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Yeah, Walker Kessler did get injured in the beginning of the year. He was really doing good over there. Yeah, they did trade for Jaren Jackson Jr. He will possibly play the 4, have Lauri play the 3 again, which he's played in the past. And they're just going to have a really big lineup. We've been seeing Ace Bailey, really good recently in terms at the end of his rookie season. So, like, the starting lineup of this team could be pretty interesting, man. And I think you just can't pass up on a guy like Caleb Wilson. I think this is like a situation where you kind of have to find out what you do in the future, because I don't have Caleb Wilson dropping lower than 4, man. In my opinion, I wouldn't be surprised if he was a top 2 pick. We ought to see about that. But then again, yeah, I'm taking Caleb Wilson. Even though like their team is going to be really big, they pretty much just got to figure it out. I mean, will Ace come off the bench, or will Caleb come off the bench and start in the year? We don't know. Their lineup is pretty big unless they move Lauri Markkanen somehow. I think they're able to do that. But until then, Jazz, just pick the best player available, because no one's trying to see you sit your good guys again and tank for another season. This guy, he's a really good defender, really good rebounder. He's lethal from the mid-range area. Around the basket, he's very good at dunking, a very elite dunker. But there is some times where he kind of struggles laying the ball up just with some touch. But then again, will come with some time. His 3-point shooting ability is a question, but I've seen him knock down some threes in big moments. So that will develop over time. You take the upside on a guy like Caleb Wilson, 6'10", 19 years old. Yeah, I like his game. He shows a lot of grit, and I think he'll pan out in the NBA level. Now, number 5 is where it gets interesting with the Sacramento Kings. Now, there's been sources saying they really love Darius Acuff. Now, Darius Acuff, does he go as high as the number 5 pick? I wouldn't be surprised, considering if a team like the Kings are there, they will pull the trigger. Now, do I think he's the 5th best player in the draft? Not really. Throw tomatoes at me if you think that, but I think he's a really good scorer at his size. He's a underrated playmaker, but his defense, man, he's a liability. And him going on to a team like the Kings, where defense is non-existent, where you have guys like DeMar DeRozan, Domantas Sabonis, Zach LaVine, like, this team is not going to defend anything if they add Darius Acuff onto this lineup. It's a tragedy, bro. I feel bad for Kings fans, but this is what they're going to have to deal with for the long haul. People might think it's a little bit of a reach, but I know this guy hasn't been playing really good his rookie year, but he has also dealt with injuries, missed some time, couldn't play in the March Madness. I'm going to go with Michael Brown Jr. He's a 6'5" freshman out of Louisville. And I think I see the upside in this. This guy, the way he moves, it's really good. He has a long wingspan. He's able to hold his own on defense. He can play make. He can make guys, create. The downside of what I told you about is his ability to be consistent. But this guy is a flamethrower when he's on. He averaged 18 points over there at Louisville. I think he's gonna hold his own in the NBA level. I'm gonna take a bank on it that he will be good, but going to the Kings, I kind of feel bad for him if that manages to happen. Obviously, it'll either between him or Darius Acuff. I think Michael Brown, he just looks like an NBA player. He plays like an NBA player. I think he's going to be in the league for quite a while. the Atlanta Hawks. They are in the need of a center. Their team has been really clicking ever since trading for CJ McCollum, having Jalen Johnson being the lead guy because they traded away Mr. Trae Young. But yeah, their center issues is concerning. Now, is it crazy to say to give them a big man around this area, like a guy like Pat Gungba, or maybe a Jaden Quintons, or a Ade Mora? I don't know. That's a little probably a reach, but if you're in the NBA draft, especially in the lottery, you always take best available. And I mean, this is the last year on CJ's deal. Who knows if he's gonna come back? They've got Dyson Daniels low-key running the one, who's been pretty good there. Nikhil Alexander's been really good over there. Best case scenario, they get a guy like Kingston Flemings who adds on to that defense. They're probably not gonna ask a lot about for him. You know, he's not a guy that shoots a lot at a high rate, considering like his 3-point percentage is really good. It's like around like 38% or something like that. But this is a guard that shoots less threes a game than Cam Boozer, funny enough. But this guy, I've seen the playmaking that he's done. I've seen he could hold his own on defense. I mean, I do have questions. Is he 6'4"? Or is that just Houston just boosting his height? But I think he is like borderline 6'3" though. But who cares? He's able to hold his own, play defense. And he's a really good mid-range shooter as well. And he could finish around the basket. He's pretty athletic enough to dunk on you if he wanted to. Now, next we have the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, these guys looking probably to part ways Ja Morant. Would I want to give these guys Darius Acuff? These are another guys who's always on the injury report every year, it seems like. Zach Edey, who's their cornerstone center right now. Cedric Howard, who they drafted recently, has also been showing some flashes, some really good signs. I think, in my opinion, they're gonna want some shooters, and this is my personal favorite guy as an Illinois fan. I'm gonna go ahead and select Keaton Wagler to be their shooting guard for the future. This guy is 6'6". He's an underrated playmaker as well. He doesn't really turn the ball over a lot compared to the rest of the guards in the class. 3-point shooting is amazing. He's able to hit step backs. He really relies a lot on screen, you know, playmaking around screens. In terms of like creating for himself, it's kind of wonky. He's shown some flashes. He's still young. His thing about him is finishing around the rim. It's a little questionable. I think once he puts on NBA weight and gets in that NBA strength and conditioning program, I think he'll feel a lot better, you know, driving to the rim. But he does a lot of creation in terms of like spin jumpers or spinning away from the basket, doing floaters. That's pretty much my guy. To be honest, this guy's one of my guys. I think he's going to be a good corner asset. A lot of guys kind of underrate him, thinking he's not going to be like that. But in my opinion, I'll take the upside shot on him. And he definitely holds his own on defense. He's not one of the weakest defenders. He will get the occasional steal and the occasional help block, but I don't think he's going to be a liability. Now, going to the Mavericks, who drafted recently Cooper Flag, who's been on a tear recently, dropping 50, youngest guy to do it. Now, this lineup is something else, man. I mean, it's a mix of young guys and old guys, man. We got guys like Middleton, Kyrie still on the lineup. Yeah, this team, it's literally just going to be building around Cooper Flag. The question is, I want to draft Darius Acuff here, but what happens with Kyrie Irving? He has 3 years left on his deal. It's not going to work out if you put these two on the court together. It's not happening. It really isn't. So in this mock draft, I'm going to go ahead and pick Braden Burries from Arizona. I think this guy he's a hustler. He's 6'4". He is an older freshman. I think long term, he's a really good rebounder. He's scrappy. He dives for loose balls. Now, I've seen comparisons, people trying to compare him to Derek White. I don't see that. Derek White was a lot better defender and a better playmaker as well compared to Burries. But with Burries, he's got the shooting upside. He could run in transition. He could hold his own on defense though, but he's just not on par with Derek White. I mean, Derek White, he was old. He was an older prospect coming into the draft as well. But then again, I'm not comparing both of them. I'm just saying, like Braden Burries, even though he's a freshman, he is an older freshman. But I really like his game. I think he could fit well with this Mavericks team if they want to, you know, still keep Kyrie for the long haul and try to push for a finals with Cooper Flag somehow. But if not, if Kyrie was gone, you know, yeah, sure, I'll give him Darius Acuff. But as of right now, I'm gonna go ahead and give him Braden Burries from Arizona. Now next is the Chicago Bulls, and they need help everywhere. Now, this is my favorite team. We got Josh Giddey as a cornerstone, Matas Buzelis as a cornerstone, Noah Sengay, who we've only seen 6 minutes of last season before he got his shoulder injury, and they have no center. And a lot of these guys are on free agents. Like Simons is leaving, Sexton leaving, Zach Collins is leaving. They're stuck with Patrick Williams for the rest of their life until they cut him. Jaden Ivey's gone. He got released recently, and that kind of led to firing Arturis and Mark Eversley, which cleaned out the front office. Thank the Lord. But yeah, this is what they're dealing with. Trey Jones. I wonder what they do with Trey Jones. He's been really good. Other than that, yeah, I think this is pretty much like best available. You choose anyone. I still wouldn't choose Acuff now. I know folks are probably mad at me right now not choosing Acuff recently, but don't worry, he'll get selected in the lottery. I wouldn't want to go Nate Ament because I do want to see what Noah Sengay is. Like we already have 2 6'10" guys with some promise, and Nate Ament, he's been kind of inconsistent for me. Axel Lundeborg, it wouldn't make sense because he's like 25 by the time he's a rookie. LeBaron Philon, he reminds me as like a 2 guard. I really do like LeBaron Philon. In the long haul, I would definitely love him to be like our shooting guard of the future. I really would. He is a bucket, man. My backup plan, okay, if it wasn't LeBaron Philon, it would definitely be you take the upside shot on Jaden Quintons, who's still 18 as a sophomore. And he's got really good defensive ability, rebounding. That's his motor, but he's been injured, dealt with injury history. Kind of a little scary, so he might drop. Another guy who I really like is Ade Mara, but in my opinion, I think in the second round, I think you could get one of these centers for the Bulls. You could definitely get like a Visar if he drops, a Terrace Reed. You could maybe a Krivas if he drops to the first round, a Flory Badunga, unless he's gonna transfer, or if he's gonna stay at Declare, Zubi Ejiofor's, Ivasic if he declares. There's some guys, they have the 37th pick, so in my opinion, why not go for the swing on LeBaron Philon? I think he's a bucket. Play next to Josh Giddey. Why not have another ball handler in there? This guy, I'm not gonna lie, in the tournament, he gave Michigan the most problems. He gave him like 35, and this guy, he's efficient. He was really good as a freshman as well, but he stayed another year. And he boosted his draft stock a lot, and I really respect him for it, for counting on himself. And man, I really like a guy like this at the 2. But moving on, we'll go with the Milwaukee Bucks. Something with the Giannis thing. It feels like Giannis is never gonna get traded, and these guys really like Ryan Rollins. This team needs help anywhere, everywhere, and anywhere. They could go for a swing for Nate Ament. I'm not gonna lie. Like, their best forward as of right now is like Kyle Kuzma, which is gross. I kind of want to give him Darius Acuff because I feel like that's just disrespectful having Darius Acuff still at this board. We're going to go ahead and give Giannis Acuff. They need another playmaker. They do. He's a bucket. Darius Acuff in the Bucks. He'll control the team. It will be his team if Giannis leaves. I mean, why not? I don't see Giannis pretty much going because trading for Giannis seems like you're trading for everything. Yeah, Darius Acuff, I don't know if you heard earlier, but yeah, his defense, it's really one of the worst in the drafts. Like, I think it's on par of being the worst, like way worse than Trae Young when he was coming into the league. And I think that is like a big red flag. His scoring ability at his size, it's still really good. And it's not like he's a Cam Thomas. He's not one of those. This guy could pass. He could play make. He could shoot from 3. He could finish around the rim. He could shoot middies. He could do a lot of those things. It's just the defensive effort thing will be a knock on him, but teams are going to be higher. It's just how I think, but I'll give them to the Milwaukee Bucks because I really like him as a player. Now next we have the Warriors at 11th. Now they're going to have to do something. They have Jimmy coming back. Curry still going to be on the team coming next season. I think this is like a Yaxel Lendeborg like no-brainer at this point. The Warriors are never like a team that would like be like, oh, we need a center. I mean, they traded for Kristaps, but this guy Kristaps been on and off of the court ever since the Celtics, like his last year. And I think Yaxel Lendeborg would just fit just right next to Jimmy and next to Curry. He's experienced already. He's old enough. I mean, the Warriors, they're gonna try to use their last juice of Stephen Curry to try to make them contenders right away, because they're paying Curry and Jimmy Butler over a combined $100 million a year. I mean, go for the guy that was pretty much one of the best players in the tournament. And while he was battling injuries, he was still fighting and won Michigan a national championship. So congrats to him. And congrats to the Warriors for selecting him with the 11th pick. On the Blazers side, man, I really wish they were good enough to make the playoffs so they could give the Bulls their pick, but I don't see that happening. So their cornerstones as of right now, it's really Denny. But I love Donovan Clingan. They're really pretty set at center. Robert Williams, Time Lord, is really a good backup. I think they do take a upside shot on a forward, and I think it will be Nate Ament. Who knows? Jeremy Grant, I mean, he's still got a pretty good sized contract with 3 years, 30 mil. Drew Holiday paired alongside Damian Lillard, who's probably going to come back next season. And they got their guys at shooting guard with Shaedon Sharpe and Denny, you know, playing the small forward position. So I think a power forward wouldn't hurt them. It could be a good project for them. For me, it's just a little bit of his inconsistency from shooting and him being able to create for himself. He's not a guy that's going to put the ball down and like create for himself, but I do see him shooting a lot of guys, like over a lot of guys at the mid-range point in the post, but he's just not that strong enough to like back guys down. But you know, that'll come down with the weight training program, and we'll see if the Blazers could develop him or a team in the future. Next will be the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat, they're always in this range, it seems like. But as of right now, they are at the 13th pick. Now, Bam, who just recently dropped 83 points. Amazing. I think Norman Powell, he's on his last year of his deal, right? If I'm not mistaken. So who knows where he's going to go? Like, I don't know if the Miami Heat plan on re-signing him. It's really up in the air. Same with Andrew Wiggins, if they're looking to ship him off too. Nikola Jovic, that 4 spot has been a question mark. I don't think Jovic has been that good to me where he's going to be a long-term, even though they paid him, which I'm not really a big fan of. I know a lot of people don't know about him, but Kareem Lopez does sound like the right fit for him. It does sound like a Pat Riley fit. He's 6'9", he's a freshman. He's 18, 19 years old. And he's playing over there in New Zealand. And he's got a shot on him. He's got a shot. He's pretty athletic. I wouldn't mind. I think this is like the most Heat pick ever. I mean, they picked Jaime Jaquez. I think it would definitely make sense. If not, they would probably go for a guy like Bennett Sturts, but I just don't see that happening. So for now, we're going to go Kareem Lopez in the lottery to the Miami Heat. Yeah, he's a guy that could hold his own. He got good size, 6'9", 215, and he's got a good shot. Now we're going to go with the Memphis Grizzlies again, who we picked at the 7th pick with Keaton Wagler. In my opinion, I do want to give him Dalen Swain as the best player available in my eyes right now. It would probably be Dalen Swain. He is a guy that could put the ball down, and he's a sophomore, or no, he's a junior from Texas. He's 6'8". He could fill in that role. He could create for himself. He's a good rebounder. He could hold his own on defense. I want you guys to be a good, entertaining team, all right? I really do. I think the one downside about him is probably his lack of shooting from the three. He doesn't shoot a lot of threes, but over time, we'll see if that comes to fruition. We're going to go ahead and give him Dalen Swain with the 14th pick at the end of the lottery. Now, with the 15th, we have the Oklahoma City Thunder. Interesting team over here, man. I mean, Lou Dort, he got 2 years left on his deal. I don't know if there's anybody else that's leaving anytime soon. Who knows how long Isaiah Hartenstein's going to stay for, considering he's under contract for 2 more years. I think that 4 spot or the small forward spot would be a big addition that they could add. Hans Steinbach as well. This guy low-key underrated. He's a freshman for the Washington Huskies, or he could come off the bench. I think he would be a good addition. He could shoot, he could rebound. He does average like a block and a steal, even though he's not known as a defender. I mean, he showed that. I mean, he's 6'11", he has size. I think that's something where you could use your size over there. So, you know what? In this mock draft, we're going to go ahead and give him Heinz Steinbach to the Oklahoma City Thunder. You know, just as an investment in terms of if their bigs are going to leave or like Jalen Williams leaves, as long as Isaiah Hartenstein is still here. And yeah, I think it will be a good pick for them. Yeah, this is going to be another one for them. So they could definitely go for upside as well. I think they like the upside of Braylon Mullins. I think they stick with a guy that can shoot. They like Braylon Mullins. He's 6'6". And I know Dan Hurley loves him. He's going to talk very highly of him. And of course, his game winner against Duke put a lot on notice. Yeah, that definitely rose his stock for sure. So why not? Let's give OKC Braylon Mullins. Now the Hornets. I say why not? They go big man here. I mean, it's long overdue. I'm gonna go ahead and give him Ade Mara from Michigan. Yes, Ade Mara. He is I think one of the best big men in this class, and I think him just adding Ade Mara onto this Hornets team would be a plus with his shot blocking, his size. He's a low-key underrated playmaker. He has a long wingspan. So we're gonna go ahead and select for the Raptors. Now the Raptors, they also have an issue with the center spot. Jakob Poeltl is not getting any younger. He's pretty beat up. We'll probably see the last of Jakob Poeltl. I don't know. He did sign a deal with them for the long haul. They also do have a guard problem, in my opinion. But you know what? Let's go ahead and give the Raptors like a cool guy who could, you know, create for himself. 6'4" from Iowa, Bennett Sturts. I really like watching this guy out of Drake. And then he transfers over to Iowa. This guy, he was meant for the moment. He went ahead and upsetted the Florida Gators. I mean, with the help of his teammates, of course, because he didn't have that too good of a game. But in my opinion, the whole season, he is a senior. But I know the Raptors, they're going to try to win now with this roster because they're paying a lot of guys. I know a lot of Raptors fans don't really like Quickly right now. So, hey, here's a guy who's pretty seasoned right now. He's not no, you know, project. He's a guy that could really shoot the hell out of the ball. And he could play make for his teammates. So Hornets back again. We already gave him a center with Ade Mara. I don't know what their plans is with Miles Bridges in the future as well. If we're being honest, Kobe White is under a year contract, so who knows if he's gonna get extended. If they want to extend Kobe White before Miles Bridges. So if they do want to find like a forward that could play defense, let's go ahead and give them a guy like Morez Johnson, who's 6'9". And in my opinion, I think this is low-key one of the best players available. You know what? I just noticed that I paired both of the Michigan guys to Charlotte. So I guess it just worked out like that. Now we're going with the Spurs. The Spurs been looking really good. This is with the Atlanta pick. You know what? Isaiah Evans. I'm going to go Isaiah Evans. They need a shooter. He's 6'6". He's a good size. He could play small forward as well. 6'6". He's already ready. A shooter from Duke. He's got a good wingspan from my scene as well. I keep changing my mind with this pick, but I think Isaiah Evans makes a lot more sense coming out of his sophomore year. Yeah, he's a really good scorer, and I think he could hold his own on defense as well. For a win now kind of team, I think Isaiah Evans will low-key make sense. Now with the Pistons, it would have been a good pick if they went Isaiah Evans right here, right? Isaiah Evans to the Pistons wouldn't have sounded half bad. The Pistons they're another team that needs shooting as well. Now Amari Allen, I think he would fit way better. He shoots like 4 threes a game, 3-point shooter, shooting 34%. From Alabama and the Crimson Tide. He's a freshman. I think you plug him in at the forward spot. I think he will be a good pick for the Pistons. Someone who you could spread the floor with. Now we're going over to the Sixers. They have their cornerstones in VJ Edgecombe, Paul George, there for the long haul, Tyrese Maxey. So they're pretty good at the guard position. Would they be the team to select Koa Pete? Koa Pete, he's a guy that's not known to shoot a lot, but if you surround this guy, I'll admit he's a pretty smart player in terms of playmaking, but man, his shooting is not that good. If it's not inside the paint, he's not making it. He's going to be spread around guys like Joel Embiid, who could spread the floor, Paul George, shooter, VJ could shoot, Tyrese Maxey could shoot. So having a guy like Koa Pete plugged into their starting lineup, will it kill him? I don't think so. I think you go ahead and take a shot on him, considering the rebounding ability, his size, his defense is all right. He's a good playmaker in terms of, like, you know, making the right plays, you know. Now with the Hawks pick again, we did have him selecting Kingston Flemings with the 6th pick. I think we do give him a center though. We'll go ahead and give him a center. We'll give him a guy like Jaden Quins, who brings defense, and he fell a lot because of his injury history, but I think they'll be all right with selecting a guy like Jaden Quins with the 23rd pick. With the Lakers, it's another team that needs a center, and I think they will luck out with a guy like Patrick Gungba, who's played alongside Cam Boozer, and he's a really smart player in my opinion. Obviously, a guy that can't shoot, but he could pass. He's a good playmaker in terms of feeding the guy down low. He could catch lobs. He could defend. He's a really good defender. I think this is a perfect spot, especially a good teammate that you could tag alongside Luka Doncic for the long future. I really like Gungba. He was a big X factor for Duke. in winning games, and he was pretty much beat up in March Madness. You know, playing coming out of a boot. I mean, that's how much this game means to him. So yeah, Lakers go ahead and select him. Now with the 25th pick, we have the Knicks. I feel like they should move on from Josh Hart. But you know what? I want to give him a guy like Cameron Carr. Cameron Carr, he's one of my favorite players out of Baylor. He's 6'5". He's he's a bucket. He's a bucket. He's got a good wingspan. He can hold his own on the defensive end. And I think he'll be a good guy to spread the floor and play alongside in the starting lineup if they give him the chance. Okay, with the 26th pick, we have the Nuggets. I'm surprised. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't talked about this one prospect. I think he will go a lot farther in the class. He is from Santa Clara. This man is Alan Graves. So something I'm noticing from this draft board, I mean, this is from the Fanspo. I don't see no Alan Graves on this board. And I really would have added him in here if I seen him on the board, but I don't see him anywhere. So that's pretty interesting. You know, with the 26th pick, I think we'll go ahead and settle. We'll go ahead and give him Joshua Jefferson from Iowa State. He was a key factor for Iowa State in their run, and I think, you know, when he went down in March, it really showed how much his impact really showed. He's a good rebounder, good scorer. Not that crazy of a three-point shooter considering he doesn't shoot a lot of them, but you know, he's a ready now guy. The Nuggets need a guy like that. The Celtics. They should go ahead and pick Christian Anderson from Texas Tech. He's a sophomore. He's a good playmaker. He averaged 7 assists for the Texas Raiders. He's pretty decent, 6'3". He is a little undersized, but I mean, Payne Pritchard's pretty undersized as well, and we already see how Joe Mazzulla works with those kind of players. So Timberwolves, another team that really struggles at guard play. Might call me crazy, but I'm gonna go ahead and give him Tyler Tanner. Now Tyler Tanner, he is undersized, as in terms he's 6 foot, 173, most undersized player in this class, but he's a hooper. He's a baller. He does get steals. He can run in transition. Good passer. Questions is probably his finishing around the rim, considering his size. And but if he doesn't, you know, enter the transfer portal and he declares for the draft, I think he does go around this range. I wouldn't say this is like another undersized point guard that the Timberwolves bank on like Rob Dillingham. I think this guy could actually contribute, can actually be impactful compared to Rob. We're going ahead with the Cavs. I think I'm gonna give him a guy like Chris Nack, a freshman out of Houston. Really good rebounder, really good defender. Wasn't asked to shoot a lot, but he does have like a kind of a mid-range game, decent mid-range game. I think he could be good defensively for over there coming off the bench. Now the Mavericks on the clock with the 30th pick. We selected Braden Burries for them earlier. I think Thomas Hall, I think he's been left on the board for too long. So we're going to go ahead and give him Thomas Hall from Florida. He's a good transitional player, and he could finish around the rim. His shooting is questionable, but I think it will probably get better over time. So yeah, that is my draft class right here. So let me know. I wish Alan Graves was in this mock. I don't know why this website doesn't have Alan Graves in it. I don't know if he's gonna plan to enter back in college, or maybe they just don't have, or maybe this website just doesn't know who Alan Graves is. Yeah, I think this mock is it's pretty decent. So let me know. Do you like what your favorite team selected in my mock, or do you think it's pretty horrible? I'm open to any criticism. This is going to be one of my first NBA mocks until after the NBA lottery, where we'll get, you know, the precise locations and the board's going to look a little bit different. All right. So I want to go ahead and thank y'all for staying tuned at the end, and thank you, man. If you want to continue seeing NBA content as well, go ahead and like and subscribe for more NBA videos. I'll catch you in the next one.